So good day, everyone. Mazes okay here. This broadcast is more or less an emergency broadcast, unscheduled. I make these broadcasts to the great Igbo nation with a very deep sense of patriotism and at the same time with a concerned mind. Now, the reason why I have titled this broadcast this way is that it has to be thought provoking enough for us to understand the following that is happening. Again, people, this is not a time for blame game. This is not a time for any one of us to say, this is done by XYZ. I do not give a hoot who is behind the happenings in the Igbo nation now. All I care is that it must stop, and it must stop now. We cannot reduce the Igbo nation to rebels. We cannot hurt ourselves. I cannot understand, for the goodness of whatever it's in me, that you get into an argument with someone, you go home and you burn your house. Today, the other time we complained that children going for WAEC cannot go to school. Last week it was in our Guluzibo, in our Anambra state, that our mothers who went to the market with their perishables were chased out of the market. That is not Igbo, people. I am a proud son of the great Igbo nation. I am the dotted one, unapologetically, but this is not who we are. We cannot reduce the Igbo nation to Afghanistan because of what? Because you want people to sit at home? No. I am visibly angry. We cannot reduce the great Igbo nation to pauperity. We cannot reduce... Jesus Christ, what is happening to us, people? What is happening to us? Where is that great Igbo spirit? This is not us. Watch this clip that I have here with me. Watch it. This is not who we are, people. This is not who we are. Watch it. And
on fire. ESM warning for the students that they see today. Right, Engineer WAEC? ESM warning for the student that they see today. Right, Engineer WAEC? The Compre building. The new building is on fire. The new building is on fire right now. They saw students going for their exam. They were like, okay, you people are disobeying us. So soon, they arrived. So it's a warning. Once they say sit at home, you sit at home. Okay. These are some of the students that run away during the incident. These are people. Oh. These are the student bike. They packed everything and burnt it.
Now, for some of you who cannot use their brains online, especially on YouTube, on Facebook, commenting nonsense, you just have to ask yourself, what do you gain by destroying that same thing that you have? You see, there is one thing. I want to write my name in that book today. Call me whatever you want. Let posterity judge us. Save this video in 3-5 years today. Let's see. When Boko Haram started, the people of Northwest were scared to speak up. We have seen where Boko Haram landed them. What I see happening if we do not halt this madness, we all will be burned. Yes, there is injustice against Ndibo, granted. When such is done, many of us have taken cases, we've done what we think legally possible that we can do. But to destroy your own house, and you say you are enforcing people to sit at home, therefore you destroy their properties, therefore you burn them and you stop them from, do you know somebody goes to secondary school, for Christ's sake, after 6 years, the last thing he does is to write exam. He goes to write exam. You come in, you stop him from writing exam. You burn his bike. You do everything, and you want people of conscience to support that. We are builders. I am a builder, not a destroyer. Let me complete the video, then I'll bring in my guest.
It is not. This a student bike. Warning. They came inside there. This is examination. Oh. Once they say sit at home, please sit at home for your dear life. Now the hall is empty. Now the hall is empty. Empty. Now the hall is empty. No, they are not joking. This is serious matter. When they say sit at home, you sit at home for your dear life. For your dear life. Now all the students have left their exam, and today is English. Yeah. Today is English. They should have postponed it. At least like Wednesday or Thursday. Huh? Now the bike are on fire. All the bikes on fire. More than 10 bikes here now is on fire. More than 10 bikes on fire. More than. More than.
I maintain, if you want to sit at home, it is your right to sit at home. Someone else wants to move around. Please let that person have the right to move around. If you want to sit at home, I am not against your sitting at home, but someone else must have the right to freely move. You want to sit at home, I repeat, sit at home for whatever reason that is definite and to you. Now, let us stop deceiving ourselves. Many of us say, oh, this is not us, it is DSS. I hear. DSS will come and speak your local dialect and destroy your property. If we must keep painting this thing that it is not, you see, we must deal with it. If it is DSS, then please do me a favor. Condemn what DSS is doing. What I have seen now is nothing but destruction of the little that is left of us. The destruction must be condemned. Again, you can argue, you can say whatever you want. Once more, I have a Ubedike here. Iche Ubedike, I bring you on stream here. Obviously, while you're here, you've watched the video I played. And that video clip, this happened in Imo State today.
Yes, I saw the video clip, and it's very, very shocking. It's unprecedented, and it's shocking that Igbo land can be reduced to this kind of carnage and folly and suicidal disposition. So is this Anambra that you used to know? Is this Igbo land? It's terrible, and people should speak out now. People should come out massively and put a stop to this nonsense. That is very bad, and it can only get worse.
Now, I have someone say here, how many, let me bring his comment here. And I think it's Onya Nna. You can read it. He say, how many times have you come out to condemn the killing of Igbo youth before your useless Nigerian securities before? You see, there's one thing we say in Igbo. He who is not aware where the dead body is buried, when he wants to exhume, he exhumes from the lake. Ubedike, can you respond to that, please?
Well, the person asking this kind of, well, of course, we encourage people to ask questions, and the best thing they can do to a question is to answer. Yes, we have time and time again come out to denounce and condemn the senseless massacre of Igbo youths. I'm the president of Igbo Ekunyo Initiative. We've had cause to issue our press releases to that regard. We have massively come out to speak for Igbo youths, to condemn also to international community the massacre of Igbo youths in the past. We are not known for keeping silent when things are going astray, when things are going amiss. And in that note, that is also why we are coming out again to criticize the senseless killing of Igbos by Igbos, because this time around it's Igbos killing Igbos. We have situations whereby our children, our young ones, are prevented from taking the examinations. That is very bad. In the field of education, we have made massive improvements. For the past 20 years, the Southeast states have been among the best performing states in the country, despite the travails of Igbos in the current administration. This is what we've been doing for ourselves. But now we cannot even take the exams anymore. And we will see the cumulative effects in years to come. Because next year, some people cannot proceed to the next class. We have people that are sick, they cannot go to hospital. And we cannot continue to remain aloof. We have people, suffering masses, suffering Igbos, that should go out and eke their daily living. They are prevented from doing that. So this is what we are visiting upon ourselves. I will always maintain that smashing the head against the wall must never become the panacea for headache. That is what we are doing. We are undermining ourselves. We are undoing ourselves. And it must stop immediately. Thank you.
Okay, let me thank you, Bedike, for addressing that. But let me quickly play this video, because at the end of the day, people, what we are saying is you have the right to do whatever you want to do. But again, bear in mind that where your right stops is where the other person's right starts. Again, if you decide to sit at home, it is your right for whatever reason. I am not going to sit down here to deny you that. But think about this. The same thing that the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria will do to you, and every one of us will be shouting, be on top of our voices. The same thing we will want to do to ourselves, and come online to deny that it is not us who have done it. You can never get solution. You can never get to a point of finding genuine solution without addressing the core issues. Are there injustices done to us as Ndi? Are there injustices in Nigeria? Did we lose our youth unjustly? You are aware, when Ibekune initiative under my leadership before the election happened, went to international ICC because of the Aba massacre, what we considered that happened in Aba in 2016. You are also aware in 2018 when Ibekune did the World Press Conference and said to deproscribe IPOB. You're also aware when we went to court against Python Dance 2 and 3 because of the Igbo youths that were killed. Of course, these cases are still active. The ICC cases are there. Therefore, if I must condemn the injustices by the state against my people, I must also condemn the activities by whoever, whatsoever, against my people. Now, where is this is where I see the irony. I look at, when I read the comment, people are saying, oh, it's DSS, it's this. So think for one moment, if it is DSS that is doing this, so because it is DSS that is burning motorcycles, students came to school with motorbikes, teachers came to school with motorbike, all these motorbikes were burnt. So because DSS is doing it, I should clap for them. I will tell us, I don't care who is behind it, but it is pure madness, and that madness must stop. One thing that we must do, and every one of us must be aware of this, the Igbo nation are not cowards. Agwole edonwelu nkwo edonwelu. Obu na alụsị edo kpakali ike, aga agwakwa na alụsị edo osisi eji wee tụ ya. That is the Igbo philosophy. Igbos don't shy away from dealing with issues that are problematic to them. We argue those are done by DSS, then it gives us the more reason why to say enough of the madness. There must be men who would stand up when it matters most. History will beckon on us. When these things were happening, what did you do? Today, I stand to put my name up there to say, I am against this senseless enforcement. You cannot enforce people to sit at home by destroying the little that they have. Last week, we have in Agolo, in Anambra State, we have in Agluzibo. Now, please tell me, anyone watching me today, tell me how we can see this and keep quiet. Let's look at the next clip. See how we can see this and
CSS non-government abia mega school na yoku mega machine oku o mega live ebe akita na CSS nkume ga ile exam ha just no bia on eme live na CSS nkume obodo ya emebichala obodo mebichala we machine ndu teachers me yoku on eme live na o se gbanyo on eme live na CSS nkume.
Now, and
in Jaba local government area, Imo State. This is what happened this morning. A group of unknown men came in and chased all the students, including teachers and the invigilators, away, making them not to write the WAEC English language today. Everyone was chased. Motorcycles was burned down. Everything. Everybody ran away. It was terrible.
Now, having seen this, let me show us what happened. There is, you see, when you talk about crisis management, when this happened, this didn't make it to the social media because obviously many of us were trying to understand why was this happening and where was it coming from. But now I'm going to share it to us. This is what happened in Agro last week.
Na fa agro na eme na o kita ko me na fa agro onye aja ana agwo market ma yi be ba na ekwe ya buru ihe mere ndị mmadụ n'oko today.
Now, for 1 second here, what the guy recording this was saying that when people are told to sit at home, they do not listen. And if they don't go to that Afo market on that Monday day, would they not have made whatever I see? My argument remains, you could, on your own volition, sit at home. Let everyone have their right. Someone says he does not want to sit at home. Let that person go on his own business. But you going to burn the person's motorcycle, wear, or anything is akin to the same thing I accuse DSS Nigerian Army in doing in Python 1, 2, and 3. That's the same thing. Because it is abuse of your own powers. And irrespective of who was behind it, I condemn it in totality. Because this is unlike us. This does not speak like us. We cannot reduce the great Igbo nation to be running like this. Yes, the political class is failing us, but let us not fail ourselves more than in my opinion, and those saying that this can be done by DSS. Listen, back channel conversations that I have had, even with those who were present. How can somebody who comes in, speaks your dialect, understands your local language, some of them even known, destroy these things, and we say it is this person, unless we are denying the reality. Northeast, it is how it is today, because when it mattered for the leadership, for the people of Northeast to speak up, they didn't. We cannot reduce the great Igbo nation to a Majerism. We cannot reduce it to a place where everybody begs. No, the great Igbo nation, the one that I am proud of, we are builders and we are not destroyers. Yes, there is injustice. We can address this injustice by collectively speaking up. An injustice done to me by federal government is an injustice. And if an injustice is done to any of my siblings, my mother, my father, my brothers, you watching me today, if that injustice is done to you, be rest assured that I will speak up. So why this denial? This is Insane. This is insanity. This is insanity.
Isi na gịnị mere na agụlụzi Igbo?
Na agụlụzi Igbo agbara kamri na siya na ọkụ jee na ahụ agụrụ gbaa meshin ọnwa ọkụ kụwaa ofu meshin mmadụ kurikọcha ibe ụmụ ibe nne nwaanyị ha wusi ya na main road jee na nke magharịe buru nne nwunye magharịe na-ele ha gwuo n'ụzọ nwanchi ọsọ na-agba anyị nwanne onwe anyị nọzi n'igbo ndị obodo wee na-asị ndị mmadụ baa n'ụlọ ndị mmadụ baa n'ụlọ ndị mmadụ baa n'ụlọ na ọkwa ife na-eme na agụrụ na afọ agụrụ be anyị ka ọ na afọ agụrụ gbamgbam ka ọ na-eme.
I hope many of us, I think, as they say in Igbo, a word is enough for the wise. Ebubedike, your concluding thoughts.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Mazi Ezoke, and for this opportunity. Igbo land belongs to all of us, and we should all come out to salvage our place. My special address now is to Igbo people. For some people, for the people that say that is the DSS people or Fulani people that are doing this, how many are there? Can they hold us to ransom? And then even if it's IPOB, because we see them speaking Igbo and mentioning their group, why are people allowing them? How many people can they get down? So now the time has come for us, the state government and then the people, to come out and save our place. Because doing nothing means that we will allow our place to be reduced to what is currently happening in the Northeast. How many are there? When thousands and millions of people come to the street, how many people can they stop? People should be able to start fighting back. Don't allow people to just, kill you or destroy your means of livelihood. No, you have the right to self-defense. We must come out and denounce and stop this from escalating further. Now, we've had the unfortunate situation now for several weeks that we only have, in some cases, 3 working days in a week. And what it means is that other regions are having their 5 working days, and we are only reduced to 3 or 4 in some cases. It means that we are forced to start playing catch up, and then we will never catch up again. This is September now. It is actually now that we set the momentum that will get us to Christmas, that will inject some money into Igbo land. Now we are not doing that, and we will suffer the cumulative effects. Everybody should speak out. Everybody should stand up to be counted, because doing nothing means that everybody will get taken down, and I don't want to be part of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, there is another angle to this whole thing. Obviously, when you can read the comments, you see people commenting that IPOB have stopped the sit at home, that it is not IPOB that is behind it, that, these are government agents, some say the 5th columnist. What's your take to that?
Well, we have, depending on who you ask to, you ask the questions, you get different divergent answers. But it does not remove the fact that Igbo land belongs to all of us. Whoever that does this should be stopped, and we are capable of that. We are egalitarian by nature. We decide for ourselves. We are never compelled to do what we don't want to do, and this has been consistent over the years. And we need to tell ourselves the truth. We know who the people that are doing this. We see them speaking Igbo. We've read the press statements calling people out to enforce sit-at-home protests. We read that, so we should not deceive ourselves.
But
So we know we know who is doing this. The video you just played now, we saw what people are saying, and the objective is to instill fear. So we need to hold the appropriate people accountable. So I challenge IPOB and ESN to have a good grip on their followers, because there seems to be a disconnect between the leadership and then the people on the street. We've seen cases whereby some protest actions were ordered and then withdrawn, but still people enforce that. So it shows one of two things.
The reason why I think I have on the background there, but you recently spoke to Emma Powerful regarding these sit-at-home order.
Yes, I spoke to Emma Powerful, and the young man listened, and rightly so. He agreed that it's not in the best interest of Igbo people. So I opened his eyes to reality, and just my previous analogy that if you have a headache, you should not start hitting your head on the wall. So he seemed to understand, and then he promised that they will call it off.
And eventually,
yeah, they did. But then people
the question
people still enforced it.
Yes. So who are? Because I mean, the whole thing is just getting me mad. You spoke to them, they agreed, and it was public announcement was made that it was, dropped. Question then is, who is behind this madness? Because there is no other. I cannot find a better language to qualify the destruction of life of and properties of the poor, the peasants, the our mothers in the villages that can cut their ogo, get their leaf, their yams, and go to the market on a Monday, and these wares are destroyed. And bricklayers who feed from hand to mouth, the Okada riders, somebody come out, his bike is being destroyed. If this sit-at-home is being called off, for the life of me, who is doing this heinous crime against the great Igbo nation? Who? That is what is driving me nuts.
Anybody doing this and even enforcing it is not a good friend of Igbo people. And the person actually is working against Igbo interests. It takes so much to build and so little to destroy. So why for future purposes, people should be very cautious about calling for sit-at-home protests and lockdown or ghost town declarations, because it may issue that even when you take it back, you cannot control the aftermaths, what happens afterwards. So Emma Powerful told me that they cannot stop people from showing their love for Nnamdi Kanu. And I told him, when that love truncates actually what Nnamdi Kanu believes in and Igbo interests, then it's not love. It's not love. It's not love that our young ones are stopped from taking the exams. These are our future leaders. It's not love that our people, despite the fact that we don't have social system in Nigeria, are stopped. These are the masses from going out to egg their daily living to get what they will use in feeding themselves. That is not love.
Okay, thank you very much. I would bring Andy in. Andy, obviously you've been listening to that conversation, and the question is, what's your take? I hope you're not driving. I hope you're safe. So go ahead.
Thank you, Mazi. I think this conversation is quite sensitive. Well, I think in some fora, my take is we need to first of all ascertain who are the people behind it. I'm happy that Igbo president mentioned that he spoke with Emma Powerful and he confirmed that this has been called off. So who are these people committing this crime? I strongly believe that they are not IPOB members. Like the video you showed, the guy that was talking, how do we know he's IPOB member? How do we know that? That he's authentic IPOB member. Of course, anybody can claim to be IPOB member and have their flags and all that. So I believe the IPOB members, the authentic IPOB directorate, have called of these.
So now the question to you is, if this has been called off, what does the Igbo nation need to do to ensure that there is no further destruction of their lives and properties happening on Mondays?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we do not have a proper security architect in our area, because these are criminality that need to be handled by the police. But that is where it takes us, these issues are intertwined. It takes us to state police, the restructuring of Nigeria. These will help in fighting criminality, because these sit at home thing, the people that are going around enforcing it, committing crime, they should be dealt with police. These are normal criminal activities of individuals. You get me? So these are the problem we have, and this takes us into the whole problem in the Igbo land, like the marginalization, the agitation itself, because nothing is working. No serious constituted authority that is working. Look at governors, and some miscreants are enforcing no sit-at-home order, and you have a governor, in that state. You see, so these are the problems we are having now. So for me, the only way is that if we can strengthen our security architect, they will go after these criminals. So some people, even I will tell you, that even people that want to undermine IPOB could be responsible for this. They could be responsible for this. To embarrass IPOB.
No.
Their image. We just need to deep down. Our security operatives need to start working, arresting these people.
Now,
it's
I think,
condemnable that
don't you think that the first point of getting serious is when something of such happens, irrespective, because this is, for me, in my view, this is evil, irrespective of who is behind it. Shouldn't we, in the first instance, condemn this action of where properties are burnt, of innocent children taking English? Listen, and the danger was that the last time was mathematics, this time is English. So what can a child, after spending 6 years in school, become in life without English and maths? And they've been denied the right to. What become the fate of that child?
Well, nobody is condoning this behavior, but disrupting exam for one day, the exam could be taken tomorrow.
No,
but that is not the case at the moment. The issue is this.
No, sorry. Hold on. Hold on, Andy. If your child is in that school and this exam was disrupted, and you're saying that it doesn't matter?
No, I'm not saying that. It matters. That's what I say. We condemn this act of going into a school and burning the teachers' properties like their bikes and all that, chasing people away. We condemn the act. Any reasonable human being will condemn it, and I condemn it. But what I'm saying is that the exam could be taken tomorrow. I thank God there is no loss of life. But the action itself, going into a school, committing this crime, is condemnable, and then a right-thinking person will condemn.
Now, do you, Ebubedike, are you aware if there are possibilities of retaking these exams?
Unfortunately, now is not time to go into semantics. The damage is real and very colossal. So what it means, because it's not the problem of the examining bodies or the government in the first place. So unfortunately, they will have to lose the year, and wait for the next time the exams will be taken. So they are not special they don't give special considerations for this kind of madness. So that is the problem, you know. And then I do not, just like Andy said, I mean, I do not agree that we should actually um, uh, uh, forget everything that happened and then dismiss it as part of the sacrifice that they can take exams again next time. No, that is bad. You have to look into that. Just like someone that cannot go to hospital, you just, in Igbo land, we say that once we are involved, once it concerns us, then we will actually start to um, give very due consideration to the atrocities unfolding in Igbo land. You know, if your child is deprived after is spending so much resources in the training, if the child is deprived from taking the exams, you will feel the pinch. But then if it's another person's child, then you can just say, oh, take it next year. That is not acceptable. This must not happen. And that is how it starts, because it will get worse. When you think about the financial implications, the health implications, of course, people have died. Some people have been killed. You know, we've suffered enough under this current government. So why must we unleash this in upon ourselves? And saying that IPOB is not involved is actually being economic with the truth. Because what stops for IPOB from making sure that our young ones take the exams? We know the police is helpless and the government has not been able to do what they should. And that is where the people must come out massively to take back control. And that's what they should do, because it's getting worse. Thank you.
Miles, if I may
Yeah,
chip
go
in
ahead.
quickly, please. All right. You see, this the whole world is hearing us. I think to say that this exam cannot be retaken, that the pupil will lose 1 year, it goes to the decay in the Nigerian fabric. Because I remember in UK, we have this issue of coronavirus, people cannot go to school. But government came up with plan. The student did not lose a year. This is not the what happened today in that school is not the cause of the student. So whoever the exam authority must, as a matter of necessity, reconduct that exam. They cannot allow the student to lose 1 year because of this criminals that invade their school and disrupt the exam. So I think we should, in as much as we are condemning the behavior and the acts of the criminality, we must also pass message to the exam authority that they cannot punish those students. They must not punish those students because
I do.
act of some.
Let me ask Andy a question. Andy, where would they get? It takes resources to conduct exams. You know that. So where would they get the money, extra money for that? For something that's not their problem.
No.
If money is the problem,
On this one, I think, in as much as it's something I would, the way my thought process is, you made a point that has Andy dropped? Okay. You made a point before that if you look at the indexes, the Southeast has always been in the leader, in the league, leading the league board, right? If you look at getting into unitary school, you from the Southeast of state of Anambra State, for instance, you need to score minimum of 139, Abia State minimum of 138, Imo, I think 136, Ebonyi about 128 or thereabout. Whereas there are states like Yobe where you need just 2. There are some states like Nasarawa, I think you need about 9 or 12. So if you look at that, this is a state that has this is a region that has a very high standard in terms. And when you look at the WAEC, scoreboard and score whatever, you can see that this been very high consistently. Now, if you put all these things all together, again, If others are envious of you, must you push yourself to fall from that height? And that brings me always to this question, that others have a Majiri, that others have crisis, that others have bandits. Must I create my own bandit, as if we are in competition of who creates the most bandit and who creates the most Amajiris? It might not be so easy for those who online saying, "Oh, this is saboteurs." I mean, this has become a new cliche for anyone who speaks truth and who speaks, common sense and moves away from the standard of everybody's argument, that automatically you hear, "Oh, he's a saboteur, he's been paid." I mean, I'm reading comment here and I read people saying Mazi has been paid and do don't say Mazi is a saboteur. I say, listen, people, I don't know how else to say it. I am unapologetically Igbo. Anything that threatens the great Igbo nation threatens me, threatens most of us. Hence, we speak up. If it is done by the federal government, expect me to speak against it. Now, if it is done by someone I do not know, expect me to speak against it. If it is done by ourselves, also expect me to speak up, because right is right and wrong is wrong. The enforcement by whosoever of, again, I think some of us commenting on the title doesn't, you read again. The title and the keyword is that this enforcement is madness. The enforcement of sit at home is nothing, in my worldview, short of pure madness. I find no other words, and I cannot apologize, and I have no apology for that, because that is what it is. It is a clear case of madness that we will allow ourselves that to enforce something where you should have rights. Many of us argue, you talk about the referendum. It means the right. If you do referendum today, someone has the right to say, "I don't want to be part of the referendum, I will not vote." It is your right. You do election today, someone will say, "I will boycott the election, I don't want to be part of your election." It is your right. But for someone to come and threaten you that if you do not vote in the referendum, that you're going to die, or that if you do not vote in the election, you're going to die, or something will happen to you, it is a clear case definition of madness and insanity. Where lies the human right of choice? Ndị Igbo are Republicans in nature. That's why in the great Igbo philosophy, you have various chiefs, where families have their own oracle and their own chief. Everyone commune to their own oracle through their own, commune to the God, quote unquote, chi nke ukwu, via that chi in their own house. We do not have in the great Igbo nation that singular unit of communicating to that great being, rather than through various, in the modern days, they call them deities. So how suddenly should you then expect us to keep quiet? If I spoke up when Aba massacre happened, expect me to speak up now. If I spoke up when the lives of my brothers and sisters were put in the mud in Aba, soldiers trampled upon them. If I spoke up when their lives were cut short in Mbo, if I spoke up when Ezu River happened, if I spoke up when Mbo and other places and things that happened in Afaruku happened, expect me to speak up now. What it means, I remain consistent that every life matters and that you have your right. No one should cower us from speaking up when it matters. Northwest is still suffering for not speaking up when it mattered. Everyone was cowed. And today, we have seen what is happening in the Northwest. Sorry, Northeast. We do not pray that same happens to us. Everybody can, on that, I will say, your concluding thoughts. Then we say, we have done, as this, as we say in Igbo, ekwuhekwu melonu, anuhanu melonte. Everybody can. I'm asking me here,
Thank you very much, Mazi. Ọnụ kwube ntị asị na gbasara ọlịa mana ebepụ unu ebe ka ntị ya nọ. Ndị Igbo ewere ọja dufie dike ụzọ dike baa na ọja baa akpa. That is a very, very rich words, So I mala asụ, I sụọ n'ikwe. I ama asụ, I sụọ n'ana. But still remember what I said earlier on. Igbo land belongs to all of us, and it can only become what we make out of it. The madness must stop. Let us save our place. Thank you very much, Mazi.
Everybody can, on that note, I would say, please, thank you for you and Andy for joining me in this quick broadcast. Again, ụmụnne ihe anyị na-ekwu bụ na anyị bịalụ n'udo. Biko ọ bụrụ na ife ọjọọ ọ bụrụ na gọọmenti na-eme anyị, we must speak up. Ọ bụrụ na onwe ife na-eme anyị ọ dịka anyị nwa na-eme onwe anyị, biko ka anyị were unu ile anyị gụọ eze anyị ọnụ. Na ọ bụrụ na ewere iwe gbuo gbupụ isi, ọkwa na ya nwa bụ na ndụ ana, anyị ama mbịa onwe mgbe ọ ga-abịa imego ọtụtụ ihe onyonyo ọ ga-abịa fụsị ya mgbe ụfọdụ ise is not worth it. It is not worth it. In love we say, let us not do to ourselves that which the enemy does to us. Let us show love to ourselves, especially our unborn generation. If we do not have an atmosphere, yes, the federal government and its agencies are against us, but must we be against ourselves? In conclusion, ụmụnne m ga-asị, biko ọ bụrụ na ọ bụ anyị nwa na-eme, ka anyị wepụ n'aka aka enwe n'ofe. Ọ bụrụ na ọ bụrụ anyị nwa na-eme, ka anyị gbaa ndị na-eme ọtọ n'anwụ. On that, I leave us and I say to us, have a wonderful day.